Ever since the day that you went away, you went away.
Hi guys, if you're new here, my name is Andra. I make commentary videos on pop culture and influencers. Usually I have to do this on camera because it makes me feel more comfortable to see my own face when I edit. I don't know why. But I cannot do it right now because I'm in the middle of actually packing to go on a family trip and everywhere is kind of a mess. It's been a long time since I posted. But to be honest, I was never really gone. I was just gone from being logged into this account. I was watching YouTube and keeping up to date with everything that was happening on my other account that I just use like just for watching purposes, as well as filming videos and editing them. But I don't know, they never felt right. They never felt like they're worthy of posting. When I got monetized, it was when I stopped posting, which is the opposite of what should happen. But I don't know, I just felt insecure about the quality of some of the things because I didn't feel like I had enough time to research properly because I have a job now and it's a bit complicated. But I thought I'm not back, like I'm not gonna be posting every day like I used to or every other day, but I will be trying to post more after I come back from holidays. But I want to post about this because I've been keeping up to date with the drama between Trisha Paytas and H3, and I thought, what better way of coming back than talking about something that I'm really passionate about, which is human rights, because in this department they're both pretty bad people, Klein and Trisha as well, and it just misses me how people have turned against Trisha, who obviously deserves the I don't want to say hate because I don't think people deserve hate, criticism, and to have people wake up to what they are doing and stop giving them revenue. But people have been defending Klein and forgetting all the horrible things that he's been saying up until like recently as well. If you go back in time, he's been saying a lot worse things, a lot more ignorant things. However, they didn't actually go away. He just stopped being as bad as he was before. He stopped saying the N-word, which he used to do a lot, but he's still doing things that are violating other people's rights, let's say. And because people already don't like Trisha, I feel like it would be unfair to start talking about them. So I'm gonna talk about Ethan because he's the loved one. He's the one that people need to hear about. And I know that I'm gonna get some hate for that, but that's whatever. I'm probably gonna be back in my cave for the next month anyways because I'm going on holiday, so I'm not gonna be on YouTube. So I'm not gonna see it. But I don't know, just first hear me out and then you can decide if you want to insult me or disagree, because last time I had plenty of comments that were pretty awful when it comes to the subject of Israel/Palestine, because people will believe that anytime you care about Palestinians it means you hate Jewish people, which is not true. It's categorically not true in my case. I've also had criticism in my other video I made about Trisha and their Zionism and the way that they romanticize the IDF, the Israeli army. I've talked about that before, and I had comments saying that I'm misgendering them, which no, I'm not, because at that time when I made the video, they were going by she, her, and I couldn't have known that in the future they're gonna identify as non-binary. How would I have known that? Come on. And the thing is, I've had a little stalker during that time who found my video and did not agree and started to insult me in just horrible ways, sending me messages about how he's gonna try to take down my channel, which I wasn't scared of because I know that I'm not trying to bring onto my channel anybody who is hateful, and I'm not hateful myself. I've always tried to express how supportive I am of Jewish people. When I talk about Palestine, it doesn't mean that anything bad has to happen to the other people there, to Jewish people. I never ever wanted people to have that impression, but I think this is a technique that is used to silence people. Trying to accuse us of being anti-Semitic is like to scare us from talking about Palestine just because we don't want to be associated with being anti-Semitic. Of course we don't. And yeah, I think it's just a insidious, disgusting scare tactic, and I am trying to not be afraid anymore to speak my mind because I know my heart is in the right place. I know I'm a good person.
I was like, they're like these huge black dudes, and they were all strapped. They were all black. There was like 10. I'm just
they?
saying, they were, every single one of them was black.
Okay. I don't even pay
You don't see
attention to
skin
color or
color?
anything.
If there's 8 dudes on security and they're all black, I think that's worth noting.
I just noticed their suit. They were all wearing suits.
They were all wearing suits, yeah. No, they were super
That
professional.
was nice.
And, I mean, they were all like 6'5", black
Yeah.
dudes. Yeah, that's terrifying. Does a 6'5" black dude scare you more than a 6'5" white dude?
No. Is it supposed to?
Well,
I mean, it's the height maybe that will scare you.
yeah. Yeah. How do I get out of this?
She's holding what looks like a phallic object, a little 8-year-old girl, and a big, giant black man looking in on her, man. It's like Blackzilla. This guy's got a weird fantasy, dude. Blackzilla rapes the little 8-year-old white girl with blonde hair. He likes it. He likes them white and blonde.
Nigger faggot horde. It's just a wonderful string of words that really gets you going. It's like mouth silk. I love that I can just say nigger faggot though.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't really say that. Fuck you, nigger faggot. He's like killing niggas. Damn, he really kind of just was really comfortable using that word. That really just kind of like you're reaching for all these words, right? And you're like, oh, let me just like a little and bum for you. No, he's out of here.
All right.
I love that I can just say nigger faggot though.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't really say that.
Do you feel like
Empowered?
I feel like you're using it a little liberally.
I love saying nigger faggot. It's so wonderful.
Let's start with Ethan Klein's racist comments in the past. So this one was funny to me because you can see Ila openly saying that not openly, but she's trying to imply that what he's doing and saying is bad, which it is. However, I want to know if she would feel the same about the distinction between an Israeli man and a Palestinian man, as she feels about black and white being the same, which obviously they should be treated the same. But I'm just saying I don't think that she would apply the same standards to the situation in her own country. And I'm doing the finger thing, I don't know what you call it, when, something you're saying is not through the quote, because it's not really a country if you stole it from someone else.
Or apes or whatever, right? Our Neanderthal cousins were probably just raping like crazy. So there's definitely something like in us to like conquer. Men want to like conquer.
Right.
So it's, women are in a nature setting like to be conquered.
Sexism, just casually saying that women are to be conquered by men because biology, I guess. It's stupid, and honestly, Ila's the one who's trained to kill, like I said, not you, so I'm pretty sure that this doesn't work in your relationship as you want to say it does. This is the video of the story about Ila's experience in the military, and I want you guys to listen to this and tell me that she is on the right side, because honestly, if you feel like you can tell me that, then I'm gonna question reality at this point. She doesn't openly defend Israel by any means, but she does talk about it in a very desensitized way. She doesn't even care about the Palestinians, and she doesn't disavow Israel at any point.
You served in the military. And your whole family served in the military, right? Mm-hmm. How was your experience in the military?
It was okay. I didn't do anything like, I wasn't like a combative role.
Yeah, you weren't a fighter.
I wasn't a fighter, so I didn't have anything like crazy to tell. But I don't know. It's kind of like a mandatory job that you have to go to,
and you don't get paid for.
Yeah.
Someone said, "Is it like a forced vacation?"
No.
No.
It's more like a forced job.
Forced job. Because what did you do? What was your role in the military?
At first, I was given a role that was like in an office somewhat close to my house in Tel Aviv.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like going to a day job in an office. It happened right after there was some kind of a second war in, where was it, in Gaza?
I remember that, yeah.
She was so hesitant to say in Palestine. She was like in Gaza. Oh my god, just say it, girl. Nobody is afraid of a word unless you're Zionist, I guess, because they're very, very afraid of that Palestine dangerous word.
There was some sort of a small war
Yeah.
when I was there, and so my job was to, like, when they send officers or like people to go serve, I had to like logistically help with like their hotel or a room,
Okay.
things like that. But it was all on the computer. It just felt like some computer thing.
Right. Okay. So
Like-
secretary.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And it was super boring, and I really hated it. Because it was just like I had to take a bus super early, go there, spend the whole day, go back home. I hated it. So I tried to change my role.
I just think the way that she makes the whole army thing, that she doesn't like it because it was boring and because whatever, not because you have to hurt people. Like that's her reason, that it was boring. And I'm just gonna continue this. This is a long ass clip, but I want to play it in full so that nobody can tell me you took it out of context, you did that, no, this is the full video.
And it was something like you can apply for it, and it's a form that you fill out, and then they're going to give you something else, completely random. You have
Different
no
position.
idea.
Different post.
Yeah.
Different location.
So I decided to do that, and if I don't like the second one, then I'll just find a way to get out of the army.
It was that bad.
Yeah, I just didn't. I hated everything about it. Didn't want to do it. Because if you're doing something that it felt like I wasn't doing anything, like I was just wasting my life,
Yeah.
it could get really frustrating. I don't know.
Right.
Again, saying you're wasting your life when Palestinians don't live past young ages because of some people in that army, you're saying you're wasting your life. What about all those lives that were ended prematurely because of that army?
And you got to do it for 2 years.
Right.
So I filled out that form and I tried it, and then I somehow ended up in a better place that I liked a lot more. Before it was a daily thing where you go back home every day, and the new one was in a way that was a base that was far from my house. So you go there for the whole week, and then you come back for the weekend.
So you preferred that? Were you gone for a whole week?
I did.
Interesting. Why?
It was kind of like just more of an adventure, more of a different experience that I preferred than to just go to a boring job, sit on the computer, and go back home at the end of every day. I don't know.
Were you doing secretary work there?
So, yeah, I was the secretary of the head of the... there's like a... I don't know the terms in English from the army.
Right. He
hard
was
to
an
translate.
officer.
So there was I was in Dukhifat, which is like a brigade, I guess, that's in charge of the area of Ramallah.
Why is there an Israeli brigade that is in charge of a Palestinian city? I would really like to know. How can you say that this is not an occupation when this is the real life situation admitted by somebody from there?
And that brigade has like a main officer. So I was his secretary.
Okay, so you were right below the big boy. Cool.
So it was nice. It was
that come with-
interesting. It was more demanding in a way, but also kind of more rewarding because you're put in this weird situation where you're like, you're away from your house. You have this new group of people that you have to get along with. And it's hard to explain, but for some reason it was more interesting. I enjoyed it more.
Again, she's referring to being in the military as an adventure. I don't know if there is some sort of dissonance, if I'm being too sensitive or whatever, but I just don't understand how you can refer to hurting people as an adventure. Even if you weren't in a combat yourself, you were still part of that, you were still making the system function, you were a cog in that machine that was basically a killing machine of people.
You told me once you went on like a mission with them to like a terrorist city.
Yeah.
That was kind of a crazy story.
Yeah, my officers and like the soldiers in that brigade, they would go every night on a raid
Right.
in Ramallah to arrest terrorists.
When you went on a mission to like a terrorist city, okay, so just a Palestinian city because you generalize and you think all of them are terrorists. Okay, good to know.
And so I always saw them preparing for it and leaving, and then I would stay in the base.
Mm.
So one time I wanted to go with them just to experience it.
Why? You just were all of a sudden had an urge to go with them?
I just wanted to see what it's like.
Right.
I wanted to see it.
Okay.
So they took me with them one night, even though they weren't supposed to.
Did they armor your ass up?
You're driving in this like Jeep that's bulletproof.
Right.
So I was in the Jeep, and then as soon as we entered Ramallah, the people in the city started shooting us.
Wow.
And I heard like a bullet hit the Jeep like right next to my head.
Did it like dent or just
No,
you
you
heard
just
it?
hear it.
It's a gnarly armored Jeep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I mean, it was just interesting.
They were so someone actually was shooting the car when you went in there right away.
Yeah,
Huh. Did you have a gun on you?
I didn't.
You were not supposed to leave.
No, yeah, not really. But even if I walked with them to one house.
Okay.
I did get out of the car once, but surrounded with them. So
Okay. Did they arrest anyone that night?
they did.
Did they bring it in the same car with you?
No,
Oh,
you
different
go.
car.
There's a few cars going.
Damn, that's crazy. Was it like? How did you feel? Was it horrifying?
It was strange. Very, very weird.
How so?
I don't know. Just you see people in the house, and then it's like the soldiers just walk into the house and look through their shit and find guns, and the whole thing is really surreal.
The way that she thinks that hunting down people is an adventure is just insane to me. Like the amount of privilege that these people live in. And I'm not saying Jewish people in general have privilege, because I know, obviously, I'm from Eastern Europe. I know what happened and what continues to happen. I'm saying Israeli people specifically. I'm not talking about Jewish people worldwide. Don't twist my words. I'm not criticizing her for joining the military because it is compulsory. And as much as I want to say that maybe if I were in her position I would have dodged, I don't know if I would, because you'd have to leave your family or go to prison. It's a big sacrifice that I'm not sure if I were in her position I would be able to make. So I don't want to preach about that. I don't want to be like, I'm better than you, I would have done that, you didn't do it. No, I just want to see her acknowledge how horrible that organization is. I don't want her to feel guilty for being in the army when it's compulsory, but I want her to understand that she's part of the problem, and I want her to disavow them publicly because she has a big platform. She could help people to understand better what this situation is, what apartheid is, what occupation is. She could do so much, but she uses her voice just to tell this story about adventures. That's what bothers me. It doesn't bother me that she was in the IDF. And I know some people are more passionate about the subject, let's say, and they would criticize her harsher for that. But in my opinion, I think there are people who have redeemed themselves after being part of the IDF. They woke up from this trance and this hypnosis and they realized that it was all wrong and they're trying to fix their mistakes. And I think I would appreciate and admire her if she were one of those people, but she's not. So this is a clip where they talk about the, as they call it, conflict, but obviously we call it the occupation because that's more historically correct. But yeah, they talk about Israel-Palestine. And again, that's my problem. It's not that they are from there, or well, Eli is from there. That's not my problem at all. You don't choose where you're born. I would never hold that against somebody, and I would never generalize Israeli people because I know a lot of them moved out and they don't approve of what's happening, or the ones who stay because their families are there and they love their families and they don't want harm to come to their families, and they're trying to be compassionate to the other side as well, to Palestinians, because Palestinians are losing kids as well. It's not just the big bad Hamas dying, it's children dying, it's women dying, and it's a trend to see people when they talk about the Middle East only caring about women and children, and they're desensitized to male suffering. They just associate all Middle Eastern men to terrorists. And obviously I want to add that no, it's not just women and children. These are just a few examples. It is men, husbands, fathers who are dying, who have nothing to do with whatever you want to say, terrorism. Hamas is a symptom of an illness that Israel has inflicted upon Palestinians. If Israel didn't oppress Palestinians, Hamas wouldn't exist. As proof, they didn't exist before Israel came. They came much, much later, years after Israel was founded, because there was no reason for this organization to exist. And you can say they're terrorists and whatever, like, you can say that. But, like I said, it's a symptom. And you can't really blame Palestinians for wanting to fight back with whatever means necessary when they are being in their mind. And you can dispute whether it's a physical genocide or a cultural genocide or whatever. I don't know the answer. I don't know how you quantify a genocide, but that's what people believe, that they're being genocided. And again, I don't know how you quantify that. Does it have to be, 1 million, 10 million? Like, what's the number that you would accept as a genocide? Because in my opinion, it doesn't matter the number. It just matters the intention. And their intention is to either kill them or get them to go away from what they consider to be Israel. Obviously, not everybody's intention, but the extremists on the other side. So, I don't know. I don't care if you would label it genocide or not. It's horrible. And they have a right to defend themselves.
I don't know much about it, but can I just ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Can't you just split up Jerusalem 50-50?
It is already split up.
50-50.
I don't know if it's 50-50, but it's...
Well, for example, the
it
old
is split
city,
up.
which is really the part that everyone's fighting over. Well, I don't want to say that, but everybody's really obsessed with the old city, which is the biblical part of the city.
Mm-hmm.
And that is cut up into perfect quarters from after World War II with, like, the Christians, the Jews, the Muslims, and there's another group, that like the Gennonites or some weird one that nobody really...
Wow.
They just got hooked up.
So that's what... So it is split up, like, by groups.
East Jerusalem, you don't... That's all Arabic.
There's a lot of...
Saying that Jerusalem is split in two is pretty disingenuous, to be honest, because although Palestinians are supposed to have a part of that, it's not really theirs. It's still being controlled by Israel. So again, that's just, I don't know if I should call it propaganda, but it's definitely misleading on purpose, because Ila is from there. She has knowledge. She's not stupid. She likes to twist narrative in this way. But I believe that she's very, very aware of what's happening.
There's a lot of places where you see everyone coexisting.
But-
Right.
The problem is the extremes on both sides. The Orthodox Jewish people
And the
cause
extreme
trouble,
yeah.
and the terrorists.
Terrorists, yeah.
Well, you know...
who do all the terror attacks on the other side. They
Yeah.
cause the trouble.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you ask most people, especially my age, they'll be like, just do whatever it takes. Just
They don't fucking
do it.
care.
Split
They're...
it. Do the two-state solution.
Yeah.
Do whatever it takes. I mean,
Okay, so I'm gonna say a few things here. Saying that the Orthodox Jews are bad is kind of weird, because I know that some of them are actually very pro-Palestine and they don't believe that they should have taken that land in the first place. So obviously I might be missing something, and there might be people from that denomination who are like on the other side of the spectrum. But I don't know, just targeting them individually in this conversation, I think it was deliberate. And I think, again, it was trying to silence a group of people who are trying, some of them, obviously, to help Palestinians. Just weird choice. And besides that, talking about Palestinians, referring to them as Arabs, is something that's done very deliberately to kind of refuse to acknowledge Palestinian national identity, because you group them with like these other Arabs. This is used by a lot of Zionists in a speech to say, you know, these Arabs can go back to the part of like where Saudi Arabia is because they're Arabs, it's in the name, they should go there. There are many Muslim countries, but there's no Jewish country. Like, that's the argument. And honestly, I'm against state religion. I support religion and I support churches existing, for people to go to pray at, but I don't support this like involvement of religion in politics. I never supported it. Again, I'm a socialist. I don't support this. I think again it's very deliberate, and how she's referring to extremists as being on one side the Jewish extremists and on the other side the terrorists. Like, notice the discrepancy. So all the people that you don't like are terrorists, but on the other side there are no terrorists at all. Like, can you really say that? Because the thing is, ultimately for Palestinians, the IDF is gonna be the terrorists because they're the ones bombing their houses, they're the ones coming inside and scaring their children, they're the ones putting everybody to prison, they're the ones doing all these like violent things. Palestinians see Israel as a terrorist. So I just think it's disingenuous again.
Right. There was a cab driver in Beirut who had a fucking tattoo of Hitler on his stomach.
Really?
So I have to say,
it was so fucking
amongst
shocking.
the Arab world, anti-Semitism is very real.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to say if it's warranted. I don't know. They fucking always hated the Jews. They always... I don't know. But like...
We're not going to solve the problem.
Yeah,
here.
we're not solving
I'll tell you that
it
right now.
Again, this shit is just so insidious and awful, and he's trying to paint narrative that all Arab people don't like Jewish people and they've always hated them, when actually Jewish people and Muslims and Christians and like all these like religions have lived together in the land that was historically Palestine. They lived there together before, and they lived in peace. And obviously there were like some conflicts, as there are everywhere, but there were mostly times of peace. And it's just bullshit that you want to say that that's not true and you want to hide it. You want to say that they hated you. They are your victims. Like, I'm sorry. But while you probably wouldn't want to compare the two situations, like what happened in the world in the 40s in Europe, you don't want to compare that to what's happening now because of the scale. But it doesn't mean that what's happening now is better just because less people or fewer people rather are getting hurt. It's just a weird argument to make. And again, you're saying this like Lebanese man, I think, had a tattoo with a very not nice man. Horrible, disgusting man. What does that have to do with Palestinians exactly? Because they're not the same people. It wasn't Palestinian. So why do you put them all together? It's the same as grouping any group together, you know? But again, Ethan is the one who was saying bad things about black people, so how can I not believe that this guy thinks that all black people are the same as well, in the same way that he thinks all brown people, Arabic, or to some partial Arabic ancestry people are the same? How can I believe that he doesn't genuinely think that? How can I believe he's not a racist when he's showing me these like small things that if you put them together, there's a lot of red flags in one person and they're small and you wouldn't notice them individually, but if you pile them up, it's a pattern of behavior on his side.
But
you know
that doesn't surprise me.
It's good to kind of talk about it because it is it remains to be one of the just dilemmas of the world that we have to deal with, and it may never be resolved. It doesn't sound like it will ever be resolved.
I don't think it will.
You know,
ever
the
be
closest
resolved.
we ever got, we had this. What was his name? The Israeli Prime Minister.
The one who got shot.
Yeah.
Rabin.
Rabin, was that his name? There was this guy. He was really close to achieving peace with the Palestinians. And who killed him? A Jew,
Jewish guy,
a fundamental Jew, who thought, "Fuck these guys, let's not make peace," and he took him out.
It's not as if they're making money or there's no money tied to it. It really is, strictly about God,
the
right?
religious.
Yeah, the religion.
The religion.
Well, the Palestinians are definitely being fucked by everybody. Like that's got to be one of the worst places to live in the whole world. Is Gaza.
Well, actually, it is about money because Palestine has a lot of resources. They have natural gases. They have oil. So it's a lie. America has their own profits there with Israel. It's bullshit that you say it's not about money. And obviously, America themselves, they support Israel because of weapons and because of resources. And the weapons trade, like Israel is a big part of that. It's just disingenuous to say it's only about religion. And I think it's only a mask to hide the political agendas behind it from the regular people who just dismiss it as, it's just a religious beef, whatever. And not only that, but I'm gonna say one good thing about them. I appreciate that they pointed out the situation with the former prime minister. I have heard about that too and read about it, and it's just good to point out, when your own people are wrong, because every group has bad people, and if you don't call them out, then how can I believe that you are able to call other groups out with valid criticisms if you are just blind to things that are happening in your group?
Specifically.
Yeah, Gaza
Gaza, yeah.
specifically, yeah.
And the thing about Gaza is that like Egypt's got the border closed, Israel's got the border closed, and Israel, despite having given up like autonomy, whatever, they still control it.
Yeah.
They regularly go in there and kill terrorists. They control the water and the power and all this shit.
Wow.
So
They don't just kill terrorists, they kill families, they kill kids. And yeah, they control the resources. So you can tell me that that's like an autonomous area for Palestinians because they don't have autonomy.
Is there McDonald's there in Gaza?
possibly, I think there might
Like a
be
Starbucks? Like if I was there, could I go to a Starbucks?
You might. Some of the images I've seen are strikingly civilized,
Wow.
but it's still fucked because you've got like
Strikingly civilized, yeah, because the big, bad, barbaric Muslims, they can't possibly be civilized. What is this racist argument? It's just awful to say that. Just because they live in horrible conditions, it doesn't mean that they are not modern, civilized people. Like, I think us in the West, we are so desensitized with things like this. And it's so normalized that, the Middle East is like all messed up or whatever. That's what we are taught. And I'm not really from the West, I'm from Eastern Europe. But for this purpose, as a country that's part of the EU, we are taught some extent of propaganda too. So I'm pointing that out. When I saw pictures of Syria before the war, I was shocked at like how beautiful it was and how many tall buildings it had. Because in my mind, as a 13 or 14-year-old or whatever, I was very young, I didn't realize that that place was ever that not civilized, because there is civilization in like history as well, but modern, technologically advanced. I didn't realize.
How many people there? I don't know the exact number, but it's the most dense place in the world.
Wow.
It's just packed. Unemployment's like 50%.
But
A lot of drug problems.
The regular people there are, I mean, everyone feels bad for them, even on, the Jewish side.
Oh, yeah.
And they're just...
Yeah, it's called the world's largest open-air prison for a reason. A lot of drug problems. Where do you think they have the drugs from and the alcohol? Because it's a locked-up place. They can't openly trade. So it's the same situation as when white Americans and whatever American politicians introduced drugs in black neighborhoods. The Israelis are doing this to Palestinians as well, to give them addiction issues, break their spirits, whatever. It's not like they have access to these drugs by themselves.
What can you do?
They're just
Because
stuck there.
Hamas is like,
And, yeah.
there's videos of like people celebrating a wedding in Gaza, and then Hamas rolls up and is like, no celebrating, and fucking shut. Like, Hamas is insane.
Insane.
Just because Hamas are not good, it doesn't mean that you can blame every single thing that's happening there on Hamas and not take accountability at all.
Yeah. And then people try to give money to Gaza, and the government empowers Hamas, and they take the money and they use it to build weapons. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you're fucked. They're really fucked on all sides.
Yeah.
Hamas use the money from fundraisers to build weapons. Okay, and what do you think the taxpayers' money in America is going for? Like, which sector do you think most of it is going to? Because, let me tell you, the most expensive sector in America is the military. So your tax money is going there as well. For this like American watchers that think that, oh my God, Hamas so bad. Literally the same is happening in your country.
Yeah.
It's just one of those sad things that you just, I think about it sometimes and I just go, there is no solution. And that makes me even sadder, really, to be honest with you.
There is a solution. It's called Land Back, and it's a movement that is growing in the USA too. You just need to open your damn eyes.
What are we gonna do? I mean, I don't know where.
No, I lived there for.
Look at what you think I did that. You think I brought this conversation into this area?
No, I'm fully 1,000% interested.
Yeah.
I'm.
Part of the reason I left is because I was like, this is too much. Like, it's so like just living there and being on YouTube is just so polarizing to people.
Yeah.
Like honestly, when we started doing YouTube, we hid the fact that we were in Israel.
Oh.
Because we just were like, we didn't want.
Oh, so you started H3 in Israel?
Yeah.
No, the podcast?
No.
Not
The
the
podcast has
podcast.
been around for like a year.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
But
guys
we've
have
been making
videos
videos for like 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow. What kind of videos would you make? Is it like a podcast, or was it sketches and stuff?
Sketches, comedy,
cool.
shit like that.
Oh, wow.
So we had like, I remember we would like cover Hebrew writing and shit like that.
Yeah.
And we were just like, I don't want people to know.
Just because we didn't want to necessarily be.
We don't want to be about that.
About that.
Yeah.
We wanted.
I'm gonna defend him on this one. I don't think you should be judged based on the place that you're born. And I think people have reasons why they don't want to leave such places because of their families and their friends and their loved ones. And obviously not in this case, but generally financial situations, their mastery of the English language. Sometimes you don't know English enough to feel comfortable speaking it on the daily. There are a lot of reasons why people would live there. And I don't think they should be judged unless they openly express their political stance, which they have been doing, which is why I'm judging them. And in Ethan's case, who wasn't even born there, his wife was born there. So it's perfectly understandable to be hesitant about leaving the place where your wife's friends, family, and, you know, her previous life. It's hard to leave that, and I can understand that. And I don't think that they should get hate, or Ila should get hate for living there or for being born there, because after all, it matters where you stand, and if you want to help people, not where you're born. That's literally bigotry if you hate somebody for the place where they're born.
To, you know, not be boxed into this, like, oh, you support Israel?
Not, yeah, exactly. And
because it's so complicated.
I don't agree that it's complicated. I think it's a pretty straightforward issue. I think people saying that this occupation is complicated only serves to alienate people from talking about it and from educating themselves, because they will give up from the start saying, oh yeah, it's complicated, I don't really have time to educate myself. It's not complicated. It's accessible for everybody. I think this is intentionally reducing the flow of information from, you know, going to people. It's like hiding it by saying this.
to a lot of people, I have a good friend who is Lebanese, and to him, the simple fact that I went to Israel to live with my wife is enough to make for him to have disassociated with me.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, I'm not going there for political reasons. I'm literally going there to be with my wife because I don't have an option.
Yeah.
That to him is like,
wow, that's heavy.
Enough to disassociate with me.
Yeah, and also, you're a coward, like I am.
I'm a coward, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not fucking shooting. Yeah.
He also couldn't come to our wedding because
he was like my closest
Really?
friend, and he was in Lebanon, which is just, you know, so close to.
Yeah.
It really is so close.
Oh, you guys got married in Israel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we had to.
Yeah.
For that green card.
Okay, and do you understand why, though? Like, do you understand why this person doesn't want to associate with you? Because there was recently clashes between Israel and Lebanon, and it's just insane. People died. People are still dying today. I made a video talking about that. At some point I will see if it was a Trisha video or if it was another one. But yeah, I have a few videos about Palestine. I recommend you watch them. People not wanting to associate with you because of that is very, very valid, to be honest. And again, he's generalizing, saying that he has a Lebanese friend, so Arabs are bad. Okay, but he's Lebanese, not Palestinian.
It's so funny because it's like, you know, aside from like the religion stuff and, you know, whatever, I'm Korean, she's Filipino. He grew up in a really weird Christian religion. What was it called?
Seventh-day
Adventist.
Which one is that? That's a weird one, right?
Yeah, we worship on the seventh day, follow kosher rules, a lot of vegetarian.
Oh, no weird, no weird like sexual stuff.
Oh no.
That's a weird one, right? That comment is like, I don't know. Thing is, I don't like some extremist parts of religious people. Like, I can understand why people don't like, for example, Jehovah's Witnesses, right? Because they come door to door and they try to convert you, and it's disrespectful of like people's boundaries that they come to your house and stuff. I understand. But I don't know. I feel like saying something like this out of context, without an explanation, without anything, can be upsetting to the people in that religion, because after all, it's something that they believe in, and you just went and called it weird without elaborating on that. I don't know. I don't want to judge him too harsh because it's just like a passing comment. So in this case, I don't think there were any bad intentions or anything like that, but I just think it's very easy when it comes to like organized religion to offend people, and you should maybe choose your words more carefully.
God bless.
It's just they're not allowed to dance though.
They're not
No,
like
dancing.
Footloose.
Do you dance
Yeah,
now?
it's
Are you
Footloose,
still part? Are you
basically.
still religious?
No.
Do you enjoy dancing now more than like most?
Only to reggae. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Reggae.
Yeah.
Gosh, George.
Bryce grew up with it too, right? Yeah, Seventh-day Adventist.
Oh.
God bless. You guys are good old boys, right? Where are you from? Michigan.
Yeah.
Good old
They are
boy.
good old boys. But
Old
listen,
school.
look, listen to this. This is incredible. We got these freaks, right? We got this freak. We got right. We're all from different parts of everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Different ideologies. And if we don't think about that, and we're just around each other, and we're just talking, we're just regular human beings.
Yeah.
Why the
It's really frustrating because like the way I always thought about it is like I was just born here. I don't care. Like I don't know the history and I don't care. We're all just people here.
Yeah.
People
and now I have to choose sides and I have to.
And I was saying that's why the reason I left is because like I'm like, this isn't my fight. And Ela, I think since before she knew, thought it wasn't her fight. She never belonged there.
Okay, the thing is, I sympathize with her. Like I said, it's not her fault that she was born there, but just saying you don't care. So you don't care about other people suffering. You don't have basic human empathy. Then there's something wrong with you. Like, seriously. Also, one thing to add is that as a potential future mother, the first thing that I would want my children to learn is empathy. And I feel just very odd and uncomfortable thinking that somebody who is as desensitized to the sufferings of the people of the world as Ela is a parent of multiple children. I just don't think that these children will have an understanding of, empathizing and having compassion for other people. And I worry about that because she just seems like she doesn't care about anything. Like the first time that I saw H3, I just thought, as somebody who used to smoke, I thought she was high. And I don't know if she's permanently high or what, because that's her attitude to me, is like she doesn't give a flying fuck about anything. And I don't think it's a good attitude to move through life with. I think it's always good to be kind and to show emotions, because we're humans, we're not robots, to just talk in like a monotone voice and not care about anything. Like, as somebody from Eastern Europe, we don't really smile to strangers and we don't show happiness and affection publicly in excess, if that makes sense. So like we smile with like our friends and family, but we don't like smile to strangers in the street, and we don't really show PDA in public. Well, PDA has the word public in it, but you know what I mean. We don't really show public displays of affection to each other, but we are very warm people in like other ways, I would say. Because, for example, if you go to the house of like an Eastern European person, we have gifts. We have like a lot of like a full buffet. Or like if we go to somebody else's house, we have gifts for them. We always bring something with us. I don't know, like I just feel like we like love to give people presents. And I know that being a good person is not about like material things, but it's more about like the intention of like we think about other people. We think about, I want to make this person happy, so I'll go to the house and I'll take a cake with me or something. It's not even like expensive things like home-baked goods. Like if we cook something traditional and good, we always give it to next door neighbors or like to other people, because it's nice to share. And I think people in the West don't really do that much. I don't know if it's just the people that I've met or if this is like an accurate description. Feel free to say like if in your country or your city or whatever is like different. But so far, from who I've met in my 5 years living in the West, that's kind of how it is. Like we don't show our emotions publicly. So in that way, I can understand why Ela is not the most emotive, loudest person in the room, which is fine, but she just doesn't seem like she cares, and her words, she always says she doesn't care. So I think, to me, if she said something with her mouth that she cares and she didn't show it with her facial expressions, that I would believe it, because I'm a bit like that, because I'm a bit introverted. But it's like both her words and her actions and her body language and everything, all of these things, they just show that she doesn't have compassion for Palestinians at all. I hope that makes sense.
And it's like, I don't really want to be involved in this, because when you live in Israel, you start to learn things, or maybe I don't know if it's a brainwashing thing, or you're with the club, right? You're with that tribe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it gets through to you.
Yeah.
So before I went to Israel, I was very pro-Palestinian, because I went to a very liberal college. I went to UC Santa Cruz, and there it's like they literally have protests on the campus of like Israeli soldiers executing Palestinians.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, yeah, that's totally what it is.
Yeah.
But when you go there and then you learn, because you spend time with that tribe and you understand all their talking points and shit, and it's just so confusing, dude.
I don't understand how you can go from believing that Palestinians deserve basic rights to not believing that they do. Like, I just don't understand how you can have that view in the past and then change it to that. Like, I never understood it, people saying they're going to become more conservative as you age or whatever, because I'm just moving further to left than I ever was. And I don't understand how people can be, you know, compassionate, good people and then become so apathetic to others.
Yeah. I mean, I got, even by visiting, doing this tourist thing, I posted a couple of photos because that was a part of the deal. And the backlash of me just going was insane.
Yeah.
Right? It's propaganda. I can't believe you chose sides. I go, I just wanted a free trip to the Dead Sea, man.
But
I wanted to float on the sea without any fucking effort. The salt, so heavily salted, you just float.
Saying about how the trips are propaganda and you were like offended that this was pointed out to you when you got paid for a trip. It's just insane. Like, you got paid, you admit that, and then you say it's no propaganda. What is wrong with you?
But it's so, I hate that because it's so counterproductive. It's like, how are we going to make progress if you're telling people you can't even go there and talk to them? Because you go there and you talk to them, you learn about them, you learn what, you know, what's an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
It's like, what am I just supposed to shut out that whole part and just take your word for it?
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you know?
Yeah. It's crazy. It really is crazy. But we're here.
Yeah.
We're now.
Iran literally dismissing Palestinians, saying, what do you know? Well, they know more than you because they've lived there their whole lives. You only lived there for a couple of years or whatever.
Hila's brother lives here. Hila's brother is Israeli. And he said to us just the other day, he's like, I meet Palestinians here all the fucking time, and we love each other. We always get along here.
Yeah.
It's just over there that we all hate each other.
Because here, you're not in direct opposition. They're not, under threat from you taking their houses in America as they are in Palestine. So, of course, it's not the same dynamic.
It's crazy. I have several friends that are Muslim, and it never comes up. I never talk about it. You don't even think about it.
Yeah.
And they're just loving people. I know so many Jewish people. They're just the most nicest, loving people.
Maybe I will be nitpicky in this instance, but I don't understand why Islam should never come up in the conversation if you have Muslim friends. To me, it sounds like tokenism, like you're just keeping them around as friends just to say you have them. It's like the same as I'm not racist, I have black friends. To me, it's just, I don't know, spirituality to a lot of people is a very important thing. So to me, it's odd that you wouldn't talk to them about something that might be very important to them, and yet you say they are your friends. But what kind of friend are you then?
And it's like, and then when you hear about this conflict, it just boggles the fucking mind. And I'm just, I'm not a part of it. I'm just observing, but I'm a part of humanity and a part of the human race. And I just want, what Rodney King said. I forgot what he said.
What would he say?
You remember the spirit of what he said.
Yeah. I forgot what he said. But he said something about
having a dream.
People and stuff.
People
right?
are great. People are great.
People are great.
I love people.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
People are great, and I love people. Right.
Love it.
And if we just abided by what that black guy said.
Remember him.
Right.
Again, you're making this into Muslim versus Jew conflict, which is not what it is at all. There are Palestinians who are Christians. There are Jewish Palestinians as well. Like, it's more nuanced than that. It's literally the place where Jesus is from. So, of course, there are Christians. That's the place where Christianity was born. They invented that shit.
All parties have been guilty of something that makes this situation worse, except Hila Klein. In most situations, her hands are clean. And I would like to take a moment to say that people in general need to be doing a better job of looking out for Hila Klein. Anyway.
People don't need to do a better job of looking out for somebody who's been trained to kill. I'm just saying, I think it's such a stupid comment, but what can I expect from her? I used to like her content, but I don't even want to get into that, to be honest. What can I expect from somebody who is microaggressive and thinks she's like some woke advocate for people?
Wajsiki?
My name's Susan Wojcicki, and I'm used to responding to Susan W. blah, 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 blah. It's actually not that hard to say.
Susan W.
And I don't know, saying somebody's hands are clean when they literally use those hands to hold a gun, I don't understand. It doesn't compute to me how you can say something like that. Okay, so I showed this picture before of Ila in the army, which again, like I said, it's fine, she didn't have a choice, whatever. However, look at this. They are making a mockery out of that, even these days. This is a post that Klein made during the protests in spring. My thoughts on the Palestinian-Israeli conflict. Again, don't call it a conflict. The Israeli government is making me sick. Even if Hamas is operating out of a civilian building, it doesn't justify total destruction of that building. It's inhumane. Netanyahu is a piece of shit warmonger and needs to go. As a dual citizen, I love Israel and the Israeli people. They deserve a government that actually believes in peace and not force and violence. The ultra-right Jewish settlers are among the greatest provocateurs in the world. They are shameless and hateful, fueled by religious zeal and enabled by the Israeli government. I wish the settling and repossession of Palestinian land would stop. I wish the bombing in Gaza would stop. Gazans deserve to live a life free of fear. What the fuck's Gazans? Just call them Palestinians. For all of the crimes Hamas has committed, we must always remember that they are not Palestine. The Israeli government holds all the power and it is on them to stop the violence and show a true willingness for peace. You said that you want to stop the settlement, but all of Israel is a settlement. So you can't say that you want to stop the settlement, but talk about an Israeli government. There's no way. There should be a shared government between all the people. And this comment is saying what needs to be said. These crimes have been committed by Israel every day since 1948. In no way is the bombing of Gazan civilians, the theft of land, nor the systemic cleansing of Palestinians from historic Palestine exclusive to Netanyahu. And for you to deflect on the Palestinian resistance without validating our calls or an end to the siege and an end to the occupation and our right to return to our land from which we were removed is to completely divert from a productive conversation about peace. And I could not have said that better. Palestinians truly have a way with words and with expressing how they feel. It's just amazing. These are incredible people.
Okay, so there was that.
The notes.
So here's the Israeli-Palestine conflict summarized by Trisha. Wait, you erased it? Because this is a link to your TikTok.
I think I put it back up. I asked Moses if it was okay if I put it back up. I didn't want to embarrass him further.
Okay, here it is. So the caption is, when you take your boyfriend's Israeli identity and all the comments are free Palestine, and you're just trying to figure out where Palestine even is and why it needs to be freed. I mean, it's funny how willing you are to be ignorant.
Talking about taking your boyfriend's Israeli identity doesn't exist. There is Jewish identity, but there's no national Israeli identity that's separate from being Jewish. So it's just stupid to say that.
But it's true. They always say free Palestine. I'm like, I swear when I met him, I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, what is Palestine? Like, I had no idea.
I think it's the way that you do it is like, you're making fun of them.
Literally, no. It literally is
are.
what I know. Because I don't even know what it's about. I watched Zohan and I was like, I don't understand this, like, Palestine.
Well, Zohan is not a documentary.
But it is about Palestine versus Israel.
Did you tell her anything about it, Moses? Come on.
Well, we don't.
You want me to tell you a little bit? I can give you in a nutshell.
I get it.
Well, people always get mad at me because they go, "Oh, you make fun of her because she's ignorant," and then you don't explain it to her.
Oh, so now you're gonna educate me on it?
I can give you in a nutshell.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, here we go. So before there was a mass immigration of Jews from Europe and around the world to Israel, there was the Palestinians lived there, more or less. This is very simplified. And then the Jews bought up a ton of land and moved them and just kind of forced them in a lot of ways down into the West Bank and the Gaza Strip.
They lie about not knowing what Palestine is. Thing is, you do know what Palestine is because you've posted a video in the past, which I showed in my first video on Trisha. When Ethan explains the history between Palestine and Israel, he says that the Jews bought the land and they moved there, which is an oversimplification of something that is more complex than that because Palestine was occupied by the British, so they didn't buy the land from Palestinians willingly. Palestinians didn't give them anything. They bought the land from the British.
Some people consider all of Israel Palestine, but it's like traditionally Palestine. I mean, it is. If you go back in a map, used to be called Palestine, Palestinian territory.
So if I go to Israel, I can walk into Palestine?
Well, Palestine is kind of it's not. Palestine and Israel is kind of a name for the same place.
So everything is. So Jaffa is Palestine.
Yeah, if you ask a Palestinian, they'll say it's Palestine.
So he could say he's Palestinian.
No, because he's not Arab. He's not Palestinian.
Only Arabs believe that.
Well, Palestinian is a group of people, like Jews is a group of people. So Palestinians are Arabs who come from that region. You know, their lineage and their heritage, and they're from that region. But they're living in Gaza Strip, which is like a really horrible place to live, and they're like boxed in this tiny bit of land that Israel owns. And it's fucking horrible to live there.
So they're not like walking around Tel Aviv.
No. Well, some of our, no, there's a lot of Arab Israeli dual citizens.
When Ethan tries to explain the whole situation, he says that to Palestinians, all of Israel is Palestine, which is true, and Trisha laughs. I don't understand what's funny about that. What are they smirking about?
I don't want them to be mad, honestly. Like, I really don't. I thought it was a joke because, like, honestly, where I was coming from is like, I don't even know where Palestine is. Like, I don't
Yeah, it's
know.
kind of complicated, but
Well,
but Palestine, there's a lot of, you know, the Israelis do a lot of fucked up shit there, like stealing their land, encroaching on their land all the time.
they're like Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, they're like Christopher Columbus light, I would say, because they have to deal with like PR, where Christopher Columbus was like, fuck these Indians, dude. He's out there with like polio and fucking weed whackers. He's like, nobody gives a shit. So yeah, they're kind of like Christopher Columbus light. How did I do, Dan? Did I do okay?
I guess it's all right.
I mean, I'm not trying to piss anyone off here.
No.
I'm just trying to eat matzo brittle.
It's Hanukkah, so we can't piss them off.
But obviously, that's why they get sensitive, because they think this is like a genocide, like a Palestinian genocide.
Oh, happening now?
Or slash apartheid.
Happening now.
Yeah.
Right. I apologize. I think my joke was funny. I think it's a joke. It's TikTok.
I thought it was funny.
Thanks.
But it's more a joke about how ignorant you are, not about the Palestinian
Yeah,
people.
that's how I feel too.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, look at this dumb bitch. Which I'm not dumb. I just like, no one is taught Israel versus Palestine.
I feel like the vast majority of people know what Palestine is.
That's not true.
What?
That's not true.
Why is it not true?
Because like we were talking about how he didn't learn about U.S. history. We don't learn about Israeli history.
Yeah, but Palestinian, the whole the Israel-Palestinian conflict is like one, if not the most, like globally forefront conflict in the world. It's like everybody knows about that conflict. Who do you think right?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Do you agree with me, Dan?
We're all Jewish, so it's hard. I don't know.
We're all Jewish.
No, I mean, yeah, it's like.
The Columbus comparison is fair, I would say. I don't understand why it's being made as a joke.
I mean, you guys are Arabs, so...
Right.
Oh my God.
They're both Arabs.
You're Palestinian then.
They're not Palestinian. You guys are
You
Lebanese,
just said
right?
Arabs are Palestinian.
Not every Arab is Palestinian. That's ridiculous. There's tons of countries in the Middle East.
Trisha literally thinks that all Arabs are Palestinians, and Ethan thinks that all Middle Eastern people are Arabs. It's just double ignorance here.
Ooh, I feel some tension now. We got some Jews, we got some Arabs, and we got some Christians.
You just described Jerusalem.
We got some Jews, we got some Arabs, we got some Christians. Okay, Arabs can be Christians. Once again, it's just stupid. Or Arabs can be Jewish as well.
This is Whoa! So does that mean you're Muslim? Arab is Muslim?
Yeah. Well, no.
Not all of them.
But you are.
Yeah.
That's dope. No, I love it. I was just saying I want to interview a Muslim. Like, I don't know Muslims. Like,
Ask them anything. We got them right here.
well, they can't hear them. I feel like we need to have them on as a guest.
Here, let's send you.
You don't
This will
look
be
like a
great.
Muslim.
There you go.
That's fucking crazy.
Do you guys mind being interviewed?
Wait,
Trish,
are you too?
Let's learn from an Arab here, Dan. Pass off the mic. We're going impromptu,
Dan
baby.
hates this. He's like, fuck. I feel like Jan just hates frenemies all the time. He's like, over it.
Yeah, he does. Dan's always like, wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Well, H3 goes for 3.5 hours.
Rails here.
Oh my
No. You gotta follow what's good. Dude, whenever we have a chance to educate Trisha, we have to take it. So here we have AB with us, our resident Arab / Muslim.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Can I ask you the first question?
Yes.
The way that they pronounce Muslim is so funny. Like, I want to interview a Muslim. Just say it normally.
So Trisha says, when you sat down, she's like, "You're really Arab? That's so trippy." How does that make you feel?
Because I know Trisha, it doesn't bother me.
No.
Trisha's.
Was it odd
So I
that
get a pass to ask
But is it odd being treated like an oddity? I mean, you're just like a normal American dude.
No, because I'm kind of used to it. Growing up, 9/11 happened when I was like in 2nd grade, so I heard it a lot like growing up.
And was it because like how you looked or your name?
It's my name.
What's your name? Your full name? Can you say it or no?
Yeah, I can say it. Abdullah.
Abdallah.
Yeah.
And
It's pretty good.
this is like a question because I'm genuinely curious. You're on social media. Well, you're here now on here.
Yeah.
Like, and you're not scared of getting like killed. Like on 90 Day
Jesus.
Fiancé. No, because like on 90 Day Fiancé, Azan could get killed for having social media. He's in Jordan.
Oh, you're saying because I'm Muslim?
Yeah, you're not supposed to be on social media and stuff.
Well, right. Well, okay, I'll let you take
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
that's no. There's always like a lot of like bullshit that goes around about being Muslim. It's not as scary or as extreme as a lot of people make it. It's just like any other religion. There's extremes, you know, in Christianity or
oh right.
You know,
But
whatever it is.
if you're in Jordan, it's way different. He's in America.
You and your girlfriend are both Americans that are Muslim.
They're not even Jordanese. They're Lebanese.
Oh, that's different.
So they're not in that country, and they're not even of that country.
Okay.
You know
can
what
you
I mean?
date a non-Muslim? I know you're dating a Muslim, but can you date a non-Muslim?
Me personally, I don't mind, but like my dad's side of the family would mind. They prefer.
If you.
How much would they mind?
Like my parents are more liberal, but like my aunts and uncles, they don't only want like a Muslim, they want like the same village, the same.
Oh shit!
Whoa.
Yeah, they prefer same sect of Islam. Like
That's pretty.
Sunni.
What if everyone from that village is just kind of like busted?
Yeah, there's some villages like that.
Are you guys from the same village?
No, we're not. But
And I noticed.
Close enough.
Close enough. They get along.
Well, because okay, she said you could answer for her too, but like I noticed she doesn't wear a head thing, and on Muslim TikTok everybody wears a head wrap, and if you don't, it's like
Head wrap.
yeah, or hijab.
So that's another like common misconception. Like my uncle, he's very religious, and he taught me everything I know about Islam.
They keep saying that they think Muslims cannot use social media because they saw it on 90 Day Fiancé. But they also say that they saw TikTokers who are hijabis. So which one is it?
And it comes from an older text, and the word is, it's like an ancient word. Like the book, our holy book is very old, and it's not supposed to be changed at all. So there's a lot of misconceptions, misinterpretations. So like me, like I believe it just means that a woman's supposed to like dress modestly. Where some people think it's just covering the hair, some think it's just, you know, showing the eyes. It's just whatever the interpretation is.
So she shows cleave, not into it.
No, I don't mind, but
Would you show cleavage? You would show cleavage.
No comment.
No comment.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
We got a no
But would you wear a bikini?
Yeah.
Yeah, she would wear a bikini.
Lena used to model, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, a Muslim model.
said you used to model.
You would think that'd be against it.
I did some pageants, that's all.
Some what?
Pageants.
OnlyFans? No, I'm just kidding.
Pageants.
Sorry. It's an awful joke.
Oh my God, that's so interesting.
Trisha literally thinks that people from Jordan and people from Lebanon are the same. It's just insane to me.
What about like
Pageant,
Mia Khalifa? She's Muslim, no?
Okay, dude, being Muslim is like a huge swath
Okay, back to
of people. It's like, you have to understand, there's like...
Is this Arabic?
Yes.
Whoa! What's it say?
The translation is basically keep moving forward.
Can you say it in Arabic?
She can.
No. They're like, no, we can't say it. Okay, no worries.
What about Mia Khalifa? Well, actually, Mia Khalifa's Catholic.
So you don't know how to speak Arabic?
Not well, no. I know how to swear pretty much.
Love that.
Say hello.
Oh, shamuta.
Shamuta, yeah.
I know. I've dated all the cultures.
But you understand that like being a Muslim or being an Arab is like a huge swath of like, as diverse as being like a Christian or a Jew. There's people like, obviously he's very secular.
But Muslims are known to be like hard, like 90 Day Fiancé. Every Muslim on there is like, you'll die.
They're in Jordan. They're in Jordan.
Okay,
don't you understand?
Even here, like they're very hardcore. They cover their head.
This is the first Muslim you've ever, or Arab you've ever met in your life. You just said that. Why?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Are you scared of anything?
Are you scared of anything?
Like them coming for you for anything?
Who's coming for him?
The Illuminati?
No, your family, because it's the family that like has hate on hate. If you're
What do you think happens? He gets stoned, maybe?
I mean, that he literally said, we watched 90 Day Fiancé. He literally said, they will kill you. My dad will literally kill him for being on the show.
Like I said, yeah, just extremes and everything. Everyone I know, like...
No
you know,
extremities.
Like where I come from, my hometown has the highest population of Muslims outside I mean, in the U.S.
Right.
So, and like all my friends, they're all a bunch of degenerates. They smoke, drink, party.
And they're Muslims?
Yeah, Muslims, yeah.
Oh, so you only hang out with Muslims?
No, we don't really see race where I'm from. Like, we hang out with a lot of...
Everybody?
Yeah, everybody, yeah.
Well, that's so interesting, though. I always find it interesting how Jews do hang out with Jews, Muslims hang out with Muslims, Israelis meet Israelis. You know what I mean? Like, it is kind of weird how that all happens, but I think that's interesting because he said he has Muslim friends. I've never met Muslims, so you know what I mean? Like, it's interesting how they all find each other and gravitate
Are
to
you
each other.
scared? What do you think? What do you think? Where you can...
I'm so impressed. I'm so... Because you have tattoos.
Right.
You have a girlfriend.
Wife.
Watch... Wife?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. How
Holy
old are
shit.
you? Oh, you're 28.
Yeah. I have 3 wives. No, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. You don't believe in that? But that's a thing because Soldier Boy on 90 Day Fiancé, he could have
No,
multiple
Mormons
wives.
do that too.
You're not going to do that?
Well, that's another one of those things that we think is like open to interpretation. Like when the book was first made, it was like during a time of war. Families couldn't provide. There's a lot more to it than that. But I don't think it was meant for like modern day.
You're not about marrying multiple women.
I mean, I'm all for it, but I don't think my wife would be okay
Oh,
with
you're
it.
not for it.
Kidding too.
Oh.
Oh, she says he's kidding, but
He's like, I don't know. I'm all for it. I kind of like the idea of multiple wives. Like, I kind of wish most.
you like that?
Mm-hmm.
Moses, thoughts?
I'll do it for more wives.
He's- All right, come on.
First of all, that was a test, so
Let's
you
move
failed
on.
it. So bye.
All right, we can do this all day.
Anyways,
Thank you,
is
AB.
Very exciting.
No problem.
Congrats. That's so exciting.
Congrats on what?
He made it out alive, I guess.
Out of where?
I made it, guys.
He was born in America.
Oh, that's crazy. They both don't look Muslim to me, so that's why I thought that was so interesting.
What is a Muslim supposed to look like?
I'll show you on TikTok. They wear the hijabs.
Saying that people don't look Muslim to you, like what is a Muslim supposed to look like? If I want to convert, then I will be Muslim, and I don't look like what you'd expect from a Muslim. Or like imagine if Trisha were to ever meet a Bosniak person, like, you know, we have people in the Balkans who are white and they're all Muslim, like Bosnia and Albania. So I would like to see their reaction to that.
I wanted to wear. He has a Muslim scarf at home, but he won't let me wear it. Well, he lets me wear it, but just
You
not
understand they're
pictures.
Jordanian and who's America?
Okay, but there's Nigerian Muslims. There's like so many different Muslims. So
Right.
Lebanese Muslims too are from that same area. It's Israel, Lebanon.
Different country.
But it's that same sector of the Middle East.
So Saudi Arabian Muslims are the same as, let's say, Indonesian Muslims? I'm asking you.
Oh, yes.
They are.
Okay. I love my Saudi fans. I have a lot of people from Saudi.
You
that
do?
watch me. Yeah, for real. They come to my
That's
shows.
awesome.
They have money.
They say they never met Muslims, but they had Muslim fans shows that they obviously met. I don't know what they would classify as meeting someone, because this is another lie that they said.
They always
All
have the VIPs.
Can we get...
Saudis.
All right, let's get on with it.
What if a sheik asked me to go over to Saudi Arabia? Do you think I should do it? I've had it
What's the
happen
price?
before. I once got offered legitimately $50,000. They were going to wire
That's
it
not enough.
beforehand. You
No, to fly
don't
over
have
to...
sex with a sheik?
Yeah, but they'll never let you leave. They're like, they can fucking hold you prisoner. Those guys are crazy. They have like slaves in Saudi
But I
Arabia
think
and
they
shit.
would know
In
if I
Dubai.
was missing. Someone would be like, "Oh, she went to go see a sheik, and now she's missing."
Yeah, but who's gonna go in there and take you back? It's like,
I have an Israeli boyfriend.
sorry,
He's like the Zohan.
Zohan ain't getting your ass out of fucking Saudi Arabia.
Aw. Okay, maybe I won't go.
You'll be in a fucking cage, dude.
Oh my god, that's so extreme.
I'm just
Jesus.
saying, dude. These sheiks and these people in Dubai and Saudi Arabia, they bring girls over and they literally turn them into sex slaves.
That sucks. Like, it
50K.
really does. No, I'm being serious. Like, I don't want people to think I'm laughing. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it does suck.
Like, no, that would seriously suck so bad.
So bad. All right. Anyway, that was.
Thank you, AB. I appreciate that.
Oh, you got.
Ethan saying that they have slaves in the Middle East is true, but you have to accept the fact that this is just perpetuating the fact that, you know, Muslims are barbaric or whatever, when there is modern slavery in other countries as well. And there are a lot of political factors as to why this is happening there. I'm not excusing it at all, it's horrible. But you can't just isolate this to a part of the world. Like, I'm Eastern European, and there are so many of our women who are being trafficked all the time. And actually, Israel is a popular destination where they traffic people from Romania and Moldova, which is, I'm from Romania. I'm from the Moldova side of Romania as well. So it's just horrible to think about that. And I know that they're being taken to Israel. And you're going to look me in the eye and say that, yeah, but these Arabs, they have slaves. Okay, what about my women? Are they not slaves as well in a way?
What do you doing? I asked for butter. Don't dump it out. Do you even speak English?
Let me give you this from me. I'm so sorry.
From you? Does your manager know you're stealing? Oh, look what you made me do. Why did you even hand me all that food?
Let me help.
No,
Let me
stop. No hablo, help me, por favor. Ugh. Where did you get this?
It was on the floor.
I'm calling immigration.
No, what?
Would you rather me call the police? Basically, the moral of this story is immigrants work hard. They're some of our hardest working people. You never know who's going to be the inventor of the next Tesla. Science didn't start in the beginning of the Middle Ages. Science began because we all evolved and learned from each other, even those who speak a little different than us.
And then this video is like dreadful because they imply that you have to be hardworking or you have to invent something and you have to contribute to society in order to be worthy as an immigrant of, you know, respect and human dignity. Like, you don't have to do anything, you just have to exist to be respected, and it makes no sense. I don't know if you caught that comment, but it's like, we can all learn from each other, even from immigrants. What? Even from immigrants? Are we fucking stupid to you? Trisha posting this, for the record, I want peace everywhere in the world, stop fighting. It's just funny because it's like, oh yeah, thanks, you solved every single conflict and war in the world. And it's funny because for somebody who claims to be an ally of Israel, they are kind of anti-Semitic because, again, they conflate being Jewish with being in the IDF, and they also made this comment a while ago about how Ethan being greedy with money is a Jewy thing, which is like disgusting to even think about. That's literally something that the Nazi party was propagating. When the protests were at their peak earlier this year, Trisha posted a lengthy string of stories, which is what prompted me to like save them and prepare to make this video about them and Ethan as well, in which they deflect from the problem that is happening, you know, in Palestine with the occupation. They deflect by bringing up anti-Semitism, which anti-Semitism is a very important subject to talk about because it's a very prevalent thing today. However, if you try to derail every single conversation about Palestine into discussing anti-Semitism, then you don't have good intentions, in my opinion. You just want to silence Palestinians. So they posted this: no hate against Asians, no hate against Muslims, no hate against Armenians, no hate against blacks, oh my god, you don't say blacks. No hate against LGBTQ plus people, no hate against Christians, no hate against Jews. Anti-Semitism is never okay. Innocent Jewish people are getting harassed on the streets here in America as well. It's heartbreaking what the government is doing to Palestine, but Jewish hate is real right now. Yeah, it's real, and it's always been real, and Palestinian hate is real as well. And it's just insane to me that you're trying to act like these two things can't coexist and you can't support Palestinians while supporting Jewish people in America. I've never been to Israel or Palestine. I'm told to not wear my Star of David. Something doesn't sit right about it. Right. Here's the thing. Maybe you shouldn't wear something that doesn't belong to you because I don't think that they have officially converted. And I don't understand why their husband or fiancé or whatever is not giving a shit about this. I just don't get it. And yeah, you shouldn't be told what to wear and what not to wear on the basis of your religion. But like, you're making a mockery of said religion sometimes, and it's hard to take you seriously. And I'm not saying that the only way for you to be valid as member of a religion is if you get converted formally, because I don't think so. I don't believe in organized religion, like I said before. But I just think you need time to like educate yourself on said religion before you identify as that thing. Because I've made the mistake of thinking too soon about like what I am and who I am, and I think it's not really good for yourself to box yourself up so early in the stage of like your, I don't know, spiritual discovery, let's say, because there's so much to learn, and I think you should give yourself that time, that transitional time, before you choose to label yourself. They also posted this story about Palestinians being violent. Okay, do you know how many videos I've seen of Israeli people being violent or Zionists, let's say, because I don't want to generalize. If I said that all those Zionists being violent, if I captioned it Jewish people, Jewish supporters being violent or whatever, like, it would be awful and it would be anti-Semitic. So why is it acceptable what you're doing? This whole post is like disgusting on so many levels. As people from Eastern Europe, we are like acutely aware of the situation that happened in World War II. It's just disgusting. And I have so many Slavic friends, and we always talk about, you know, our shared issues and traumas and whatever, that we have to grow up knowing all the things that happened to the Soviet Union during that era, saying that that we're watching the Holocaust on Jewish people. Okay, it's just, you're just using this to make people feel guilty. Saying that a majority of Palestinian protests are fucking Jewish citizens. I've been to Palestinian protests and that's not true at all. Like, I don't know what protests you're seeing. I think that's just a big lie. Protesters are attacking Jews and screaming for Jews to be raped, killed, and wiped off the earth. Yeah, and I don't think that their actual Palestinian protests are this. I think it's just some people jumping on the bandwagon of those protests to push their hateful agenda. I don't think it has anything to do with Palestine. And it's just insane to say that it's the majority. In response to Hamas firing 2,000 rockets, right? That's bullshit. The rockets thing, they have an Iron Dome that blocks rockets. They have bomb shelters, they have everything like that. Palestinians don't have any defense from rockets. So, in reality, most of the rockets that Hamas fire go into the sea, or they just like don't hit anybody. So you can't really compare that to what Israel is doing to Palestine. Saying that Jewish people are being sent death threats and violent messages on social media is obviously awful, but I don't really think that it's comparable to Palestinian kids being killed. Like, if you want to talk about real hate crimes, not just cyber ones, then yeah, it's on the same level. Anti-Semitism is awful, like I said, but this post is like just all disgusting, to be honest. I also think that attacks on Palestine are horrible and unjust, so heartbreaking. Unfortunately, this is a bigger issue than Israel versus Palestine. I'm afraid there's bigger entities fighting their battles through this. Yeah, it's America. Like, I don't understand why you're acting like this is some secret that nobody's aware of. We all know this. I wish I had a more educated solution or answer, but seeing innocent Jewish people get onslaught of harassment and threats is so disheartening. Yeah, it is. I agree. And the majority of Palestinian people or supporters of the cause would agree with that. And we don't want that to happen. And I think if you want an educated solution, you should go to actual people who are Jewish and they are educators on this subject. I was at a Jewish-owned business yesterday in Beverly Hills that had bricks through its store from the night before. Make it make sense. These aren't peaceful protests, right? And I know Palestinian restaurants that are getting harassed and vandalized as well. So I don't really see why you think that that's one-sided, why you think that Palestinians are not discriminated. An eye for an eye makes the whole blind. Yeah, it does. But like, justice is not the same as what you said. I just want to stress you can show your support for Palestine without degrading/harassing Jewish people. Yeah, and the majority of us are not even harassing anybody or degrading or being bigoted in any way. There's only a loud minority that does that. And since I'm not Jewish myself, I'm gonna let a person who alleges that they are Jewish, obviously I can't prove that, but I do believe that that's an opinion that a lot of Jewish people share. As a Jew, I have a lot of family in Israel who is staunchly pro-freeing Palestine. All these takes just make me angry. You simply cannot compare what Israel is doing to Palestine and all the innocent Palestinians to these obviously awful anti-Semitic attacks. Of course it's horrible and we shouldn't be attacking anyone for simply being Jewish, but we have to take a stand and speak out about what is actually going on in Palestine. It's like the people who claim BLM doesn't matter because violence against police officers happens as well. I love Trisha, but the amount of people who know nothing about the situation, just crying anti-Semitism when anyone criticizes Zionism is just downright wrong the majority of the time. Don't confuse anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. Boycott Israel until proper changes are made. Fuck Israeli propaganda, free Palestine, peace and love. And I could not agree more. It's literally like the All Lives Matter movement. I wanted to read this from my last video. I think Moses, all lives matter, attitude on Palestine and Israeli Zionists. I agree. And I think Moses is a big part of the problem because he doesn't actually express his opinions with his whole chest. And then he tries to make himself look like the savior without saying much. So there was the video that I posted in my other video. It was a clip of Trisha saying that they don't care about Palestinians or something like that they only care about Israel. And Moses was like correcting them and he was like, no, we care about all people. Okay, you care about all people, but like, what's your political stance? What do you believe in? You don't want to tell us. I think it's a bit sus. And I think his whole, I'm like water, I'm fluid, I'm whatever. Okay, you have no real personality and you say you are fluid just to be whatever you want on that day, but like you have no foundation of like a moral code for yourself and it's just stupid. There's this comment that apparently Moses made, "You're offending me for identifying as gay, I identify as water." I don't know if these two things were said, like if the "you're offending me for identifying as gay" was said in the same context as the other thing, but I did hear about that, him saying that he identifies as water. It's just, I don't know. It's not the same at all, it's just kind of silly to compare. And obviously homophobic, I don't need to explain why. I want to end this video with just speaking generally about what I want to do with this channel. I would like to come back. I can't promise to come back frequently because I have a full-time job now. I have started filming a series on the whole Gabby Hanna situation, all of her dramas in 2020. I never felt like I was happy with the videos that were being produced. Like, I don't know. I made the videos, edited, and I looked back at them and I was like, what the hell? I don't know if you guys would like me to post them still, even though they're a bit like old tea. I don't know if you want to see my opinion on her. I think Gab is a very interesting figure, but extremely frustrating as well. Let me know if you would like to see a series on Gabby Hanna's controversies of 2021, and subscribe to my channel for more commentary. Comment down below what you think about this video, what you think about that idea, whatever, anything else that you would like to comment, and like this video if you liked it. And now I'm going on holiday, so I'll see you guys hopefully soon. Bye!